Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you all are doing well. If you like what you see in this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Today I'll be taking a look at Industria 2, which was released today as of this recording, April 29th. Currently has 3 reviews on Steam, which makes sense. It was just released maybe a couple hours ago. Developed by Bleakmill and published by Head Up, Beep, and a Japanese studio. I have the latest NVIDIA driver installed, which was released April 28th, yesterday. Driver version 596.36. This video is recorded using a 4K 60Hz capture card, which is recorded to my iMac, an external computer. So what you see during gameplay, the performance overlay, should be indicative of your performance if you have similar hardware as my RTX 2080 Ti. For example, the RTX 5060 Ti, RTX 3070 Ti, RX 6800. NVIDIA Shadow Play tends to incur roughly 10 FPS loss, sometimes more, depending on the game. There is a demo available. It's been out now for a while. This game is currently priced at, let's just say, 23 bucks. As someone who played the original game, I got it on Epic Game Store for free. I'm really excited for this one, and I'm glad they delayed it. Hopefully, the delay bears fruit. I'm sure they took the extra couple of weeks to optimize it. It's an Unreal Engine 5 game. You know how I feel about the engine. I think it's the worst gaming engine in history. It recommends the Intel Core i7 8700K or the AMD Ryzen 5 3600, 16 gigabytes of RAM, RTX 3080 or similar. Wow, that's kind of steep. Okay, so the RTX 3080 or RX 6800 XT. Yeah, that's a little steep. When I played the demo, the game ran flawlessly. I mean, it ran quite well, actually. Well, in DX11 on my 2080 Ti. So I'm curious to see how the performance has changed since then. DX12 recommended. Storage 20 gigabytes, SSD recommended. I'm gonna hop into the game, take a look at the settings, and see how the game performs. I'm back in the main menu of Industria 2. The game does have a shader pre-compilation dedicated screen, which took roughly 2 minutes to complete on my Intel Core i9 9900K, overclocked to 5 gigahertz. So your mileage may vary. Also keep in mind that upon first booting into the game, you have the options of choosing DirectX 11 or DirectX 12. As I mentioned when I played the demo previously, DirectX 11 performed considerably better than DirectX 12. That seems to be the case with most games that I've tested using DirectX 11 versus DirectX 12. DirectX 11 is a lot more stable, less frame time fluctuation, and overall higher 1%, 0.1%, and average FPS. Looking at the graphical presets, the game does detect my native resolution of 2560x1440. You have the option of full screen, borderless window, or windowed mode. Always choose full screen. VSync off, FPS limit unlimited. Camera distortion, sharpening, motion blur set to off by default. Texture streaming post size set to 1000. Power level, which is the highest level, Dragon Ball Z reference. Effects quality set to max, shadow quality max, post processing quality. And then it's set ray traced shadows, and reflection was set to lumen. I honestly don't like lumen. I don't know if this is hardware lumen or software lumen. Either way, Unreal Engine 5 lumen tends to look like shit. So and it's an absolute resource hog. It tends to butcher FPS. So I'm gonna go with straight screen space reflection. I wish developers would include planar reflection. But this is 2026. This is what we have. So screen space it is. Global illumination quality, set that to high. By default, this game uses TAA. So if you right now, if I set this to off, so you have the option for anti-aliasing method. You have none, fast approximate anti-aliasing or FXAA, and then temporal anti-aliasing or TAA, right? Or Unreal's temporal super resolution. So these are all blurry anti-aliasing methods. I don't like them at all. They tend to blur the texture, the screen. It's like the whole screen is covered in toothpaste. I just can't stand it. So I'm gonna turn off anti-aliasing. One thing I do want to say is, yeah. So if you said DLA or DLSS, as you can see, it forces TAA. You have no choice. That's what I'm saying. All these upscaling algorithms like DLSS, DLA, FSR, XESS. All these million flavors of fake pixels, they're still blurry. Like, can I please just get clean SMAA or MSAA or CMAA in my games. I'm sick and tired of DLSS fake pixels and all these blurry TAA, FXAA crap. Like, what happened to the good days of just having clean image? Now the whole screen is just smeared in Vaseline. Anyway, I digress. This is what you get in the options menu. So for starters, I'm going to turn off DLSS, set my resolution screen to 100, turn off blurry TAA, and this is what I'm going to be playing with. I might take a look at DLAA or DLSS, but honestly, if I don't, you know, it's probably for the best. So looking at the settings difference between DX12 versus DX11, they're essentially identical. You can see there's really nothing different between the two. You can even set lumen, reflection, and also ray trace shadow in DirectX 11. Looking at the performance difference between DirectX 11 versus DirectX 12, it's not even comparable. DirectX 11 is just far superior to DirectX 12. That seems to be the case in pretty much 99% of games that have both API. DirectX 11 is just better. Looking at the first line, the GPU information, DirectX 11 is fully utilizing my GPU, 320 watts as opposed to 303 watts on the DirectX 12 side. Looking at the FPS, average FPS is roughly 18 FPS higher on the DX11 side as opposed to DX12. The only thing where they're both similar is in RAM and VRAM usage. VRAM usage is roughly 6.5 gigs on both, using both API. But yeah, look at the 0.1% low. DirectX 12 is 11 FPS. DirectX 11 is 56 FPS. Is much stable. Look at the average FPS. DirectX 12 is 74. DirectX 11 is 89. You know, I mean, it's not even comparable. The only side where DirectX 12 is doing a little better is fully utilizing the CPU cores and threads better than DirectX 11. But overall, I always tend to avoid DirectX 12 when possible. But, you know, it's one of those situations where I don't understand why developers keep using it. Anyway, I'm going to leave you some more gameplay footage. If you like this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Take care.